Danny, you look really happy. What happened?
I just got some really good news. I won a trip to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. I can't believe I won. There were thousands of people in the contest, so I got really lucky.
That is good news, Danny. I'm happy for you. Science is your thing, isn't it?
It's what I study at university. I'm getting a degree in astronomy, so this is a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to visit the Kennedy Space Center ever since I was a kid. I love to watch space launches on television. To be honest, I wouldn't mind traveling into space one day, but I'm not sure I'd make a good astronaut.
So what did you have to do to enter the contest?
I had to complete an essay about why I love space. It wasn't easy, though. I had so much to say, but the essay had to be less than 2,000 words.
Well, that's not too bad.
After my first try, I read it and I was disappointed, so I wrote it again, and again, and again. It got better each time, but still I wanted to write something amazing to win.
Of course. Often when we write something, it doesn't turn out so good the first time around.
True. Well, I was writing about how I feel about space. While I was writing my 5th attempt, I suddenly had a better idea. I decided to write about why we should spend money on exploring space, for space missions to Mars. That was the winning essay.
Wow, great job! What did you win exactly?
I won a 4-day trip to Cape Canaveral, Florida, where the Space Center is. Everything is paid for, including my hotel stay and all of my meals. The best thing is, I can take 3 people along with me.
Oh, that's very nice. Who are you taking?
Well, I want to take my mom and dad. They were helpful with my writing. Would you like to join me too? I'd love it if you came.
Really? Oh, thanks! I would love to come.
Tell us about your amazing story, Rick.
Well, it all started at my job about 4 years ago. I started work at a construction site, and about a month after that, I became friends with a coworker, Samuel. We were friends for years after that. We had a lot in common. We both liked construction. We even worked together at different places after we left that first job. We even looked a lot like each other. At least that's what many of our other friends said.
And you noticed something strange over the years?
Yes, like I said, we worked together at different jobs. Our other coworkers often said we looked like each other. But Sam and I didn't think we looked alike at all. I guess because of the age difference. I just didn't see it. But the thing is, I was adopted. At some point, I told Samuel about that. Immediately, Samuel told me that his mom gave up her first child for adoption. We looked into it, and a few days later, we learned that Samuel and I had the same mother. She had me when she was very young, and she couldn't raise me. So, in the end, Samuel and I found out we were half-brothers. How great is that? After all those years, and we never knew.
That's an amazing coincidence.
Hey, Ceci, what do you think we should do for Labor Day? I think we should have a barbecue party like last year. It was great. That's a good idea, Karen. But there were too many people at the barbecue last year. We didn't have enough hamburgers for everybody. This year, we should do something quiet. What about having a picnic in the park? Ha, yes, that's true. But everyone loves a barbecue. Let's have a smaller barbecue party this year with only a few people. Well, okay, but remember that last year was so expensive, too. We don't want to spend too much money on food this time. We bought all that food and we spent so much money.
Okay,
Yes.
well, then I think we should ask everyone to bring some food. That way, we don't need to buy it all. We can share the food and there will be enough for everyone.
Yes, good idea. And we can ask them to bring some drinks as well. Maybe just some juice and water. We don't want to have too much like we did last year.
Yeah, we had like 15 bottles of soda after the party, and there wasn't any juice or water, only soda. It was very unhealthy.
Yes. So let's tell people to bring some food, some juice, and some water, and we don't want any soda this time.
Great. And like I said, we won't invite a lot of people, so there won't be too much food or too many drinks. Oh, and I know you want to go to the park, so we can have the barbecue there.
Perfect.
It's a big day for Bianca next week. She joined the company 10 years ago, so we should get her a gift. April, you're good with money. What should we get her? It's an important day, but we don't want to spend too much money.
Well, Katie, I never like wasting money on gifts, so we should make something. That's also more personal. What do you think, Mike?
I think it's a good idea to spend money on something nice for a special day. It means you took time to think about what they like, and it's not so bad if you look for something cheap.
You know, I disagree with that. When you make something for someone, it shows you thought about something just for them. Think about holidays like Valentine's Day. They're all about money now, and everyone just buys flowers.
Yes, exactly, April. A card would be much more personal.
You know, last Valentine's Day, my brother had to borrow money from our parents to take his wife away for the weekend.
Yes, I know. Everything is so expensive these days. You know, Americans spend over $220 each on Valentine's Day.
Wow! Well, look, I think we should make her a card and get everyone at the office to sign it. That's very personal.
Hey, yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, you're right, April. She's going to really like that.
We can make her a cake, too. She loves cake.
Well, that's true. Okay, let's do it. Does anyone have any paper to make the card?
I'm Tyler from New Jersey, and this afternoon we're having a party for my girlfriend. I'm going to buy all the food, and my friends are going to get the drinks, so I'm going to make a list of what I need from the store. First, I'll get a can of nuts and a jar of olives so that everyone can have something to eat when they arrive. Then, I'll probably cook pizzas for everyone with cheese and tomato. Everyone loves pizza. Now, my friends are going to bring some cartons of juice, and I'm also going to make a jug of lemonade. We need to have enough to drink. It's a hot day today, so maybe I should get some bottles of water too. After the pizza, we're going to want dessert, of course. I think I should get a bag of apples and oranges so that I can make a fruit salad. That's a nice and healthy dessert, but I think most people are going to prefer something very sweet. Maybe I'll pick up a package of cookies from the store. Oh, I nearly forgot. We're going to celebrate my girlfriend's birthday, so I need to get her a chocolate cake. She loves chocolate.
We're here in the studio talking to music manager Rob Starr. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I wanted to ask you what you think about boy bands. There have been so many of them over the years. Why are they so popular?
Good question. I know my history on boy bands. They've been around for a long, long time. Would you believe the first boy bands appeared in the 19th century? They were usually a group of 4 men, and they sang in barbershops.
Yes, they were called barbershop quartets.
Exactly. They weren't really called boy bands back then, but they were popular for a long time, and their music style didn't change much. Then came the Beatles in the 1960s, and everything changed.
Do you think the Beatles were the original boy band?
Yes, I do. They had all the looks of a boy band. Good-looking, stylish, talented musicians, and loved by fans all over the world. They sold over 800 million records and won 7 Grammy Awards. They've also had 20 number 1 hits on the Hot 100 chart, which is a record. The lead vocalist, Paul McCartney, is a rock legend and still really famous today.
How many boy bands can you think of?
Oh, I can think of a few, about 4 or 5 of them. I remember the most famous ones, of course, like the Jackson 5, New Kids on the Block, the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and One Direction.
Most boy bands don't last very long. They might last about 5 years, and even the best ones only last about 10. Then they disappear.
It all depends on their talent. For many boy bands in recent memory, the musicians, or boys, don't do much. They just sing and look good. Oh, and they can dance. Looking good is very important. Directors make cool videos for them. Managers make sure they act a certain way in public. Stylists often make each member look a certain way. Every boy band member is a certain type. The cool one, the shy one, the bad boy, and so on. They have to be a type that many fans will fall in love with.
I know what you mean. Image is very important for boy bands today. They need to look trendy, but they still have to be good singers and songwriters.
Well, I'm not so sure. A sound technician can make an ordinary singer sound great, and there are often other people writing their songs. The Backstreet Boys and NSYNC didn't write much of their own music. That used to be fine, but in recent years, it's necessary for each boy band member to be talented in many ways. One Direction is an example of that. Their band members have written many of their songs. Really, it's only the most talented boy bands that live on in our memory. So sometimes dancing, singing, and looking cool just isn't enough.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Rob.
You're welcome. A lot of people watch movies on mobile devices like iPhones, tablets, and laptops. I think that's fine, but I don't like small screens. It hurts my eyes to look at a computer that long. Besides, it isn't the same as seeing a movie in the movie theater. The image is so big and powerful, and it sounds great too. That's how I like to enjoy movies.
I don't have much time to watch TV programs or movies. I'm really busy with work, and when I get home, I have a family to take care of. I like to watch things on my phone while I'm traveling to work in the morning and home in the afternoon. There didn't used to be Wi-Fi in the subway, but now there is, so it makes it easy to stream things. I'm glad we have that now.
I work outside of the office very often, and I've always got my computer with me. When I need to take a break from work and I'm near a Wi-Fi hotspot, I'll stream an episode of my favorite program and watch that. I don't even have a TV at home, so that's the only way I can watch things anyway. That's fine, really. I was never crazy about watching TV.
I have the best ways to watch movies and TV shows in my house. It's actually on our living room wall, and it has a wide screen with great sound. We can download or stream anything we like. We just sit on our comfortable sofa and choose our favorite TV series or a new movie. I think if you're going to watch a program, there's no place better to watch it than the comfort of your own home.
Okay, come on everyone, let's focus. We have to decide how we're going to organize the next concert. Leanne, what do you think?
We need to think about which songs we do first. It's important to start the concert with exactly the right song. That immediately tells the audience what the concert is going to be like.
Shouldn't we decide where we're going to play first? I think we should play somewhere totally different this time.
Really? Is that a good idea?
Yes, Josh. We always play at the same places like parties. We should play at a restaurant so people can listen to us when they're having dinner. We could play at the Italian restaurant downtown. What do you think, Freddie?
Yes, Mike, great idea. I'll contact the manager and ask. And Josh, how are the songs going?
Great! I wrote some new ones that we could try. I changed our style a bit to make it sound like jazz. It was a lot of work, but I did it.
Let's see, Josh. Hey, I like these. Do you think you can play this, Mike?
Yeah, sure, but I have an idea. I think we should play completely different instruments this time. I think Josh should play bass guitar, and I should play the drums. Maybe it won't work, but we should try it. What do you think, Freddie?
Well, sure, let's do it. Josh, what do you say?
Sounds good to me. And I'll start thinking about the design for the posters. Let's hope the restaurant says we can play.
Oh, and Freddie, we need to think about the lights, too. Sometimes the lights in restaurants aren't very good. I bought some new ones last week.
Well done, everyone. I think we have a plan.
Wow, Chris! Is that your older brother or your cousin in that picture? He looks exactly like you.
Ha! Actually, Travis, it's my dad. He looks very young. We look similar, but we have very different personalities. We're both very short, and we have blue eyes. But I have blonde hair, and he has dark brown hair. And my dad's the most adventurous person I know, but I'm not adventurous. He is a movie director, and he travels around the world a lot. I prefer to stay at home.
So who are you like in your family?
Well, I'm like my mom. She's a bit bossy because she has her own restaurant. I am quite bossy, too. I think it's because I organize events at the sports club, so I need to tell people what to do. What about you, Travis? Who are you like?
Well, I think I'm a lot like my brother. We're not twins, but we're both tall and we have brown hair. We're both smart, too. We always got the best grades at school. But he's very generous with money. I'm not at all. It's not because I'm selfish. I'm a student and I don't have a lot of money.
I know what you mean.
Well, it's true. My brother is now a computer programmer, and he gets great money for his job. And who's that? Is that your sister? You look identical.
Yes, it is. She is short like me, and she has blonde hair and blue eyes, and our aunt does too. Our mother looks very different, though. My sister's probably the smartest person in the family, too. Also, some people think that she's a bit rude sometimes. For me, she's just honest. Anyway, it's only because she is stressed because of her studies. She is finishing medical school this year, and she has a lot of exams.
Oh, I see.
Are you ready to order?
Everything on your menu looks so good. Can you recommend anything?
Sure, I can help you with that. The chicken with roasted potatoes is my favorite.
Oh, good. I'll have the chicken with potatoes then.
I'm sure you'll enjoy your meal, ma'am. And for you, sir?
I'm on a diet, so I guess I'll have the fish. That seems light. I just hope I'm not hungry later.
If you're hungry after you finish, you can have some of my potatoes.
Thank you.
If you like, I can bring some bread to the table.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Let's have a party for Annabelle next Saturday. I think she would really like that.
That's a great idea. How about we have it at her favorite restaurant?
Can we do that? We probably need to ask them for permission.
I know they have an area in the back for parties. We just need to make a reservation and check if they have the space for a lot of people.
Why don't we give them a call? Maybe they can also make a cake for her.
Well, you can't put out candles on a plate of spaghetti. I'll call them tomorrow and let you know what they say.
Did you talk to the people at the restaurant?
Yes, I did. I didn't make a reservation, though, because I wanted to talk to you first. The manager says there are 2 rooms available. One of them seats up to 14 guests, and the other seats 25.
I see. And what about the cost?
Well, they're both the same price, $20 per person. That doesn't include any food or drinks, of course.
That would be nice if meals were included. Well, I think that sounds really good. I think it's affordable.
Yes, and the manager says the rooms are available on both Saturday and Sunday, so we can choose either date.
Okay. And what about the cake? Do they make any special arrangements?
They can provide a cake, but we have to bring the candles.
Sure, that's easy. Well, I think we should get the room that seats 25 people. I'm not sure if we'll have that many, but there will be more than 14. And how about having it on Saturday?
It might be better to have it on Sunday. There's a big game at the college stadium on Saturday, and everyone wants to go to that.
Most people get married in a church, but my guests today got married 16,000 feet in the air. Meet Oscar and Beth, a wedding couple who decided to have a very unusual wedding ceremony. This lovely couple, along with a minister, the best man, and the maid of honor, all jumped out of a plane and had their ceremony in the sky. Oscar, Beth, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, it's good to be here.
Thank you.
What made you decide to have a wedding in the clouds?
Well, it's funny. Oscar and I met while we were with a skydiving group. We started dating and later fell in love. One day at a friend's party, Oscar joked that we should get married while skydiving. I said yes. He wasn't actually asking me to marry him, but he really liked my answer, so we decided to do it.
That's great! Did you invite people to join you?
We sent 50 invitations, and everyone sent an RSVP. Of course, they weren't jumping with us. They waited down below outdoors, where we had our wedding reception.
But you weren't the only ones to jump, right?
Yes, well, we needed a minister to marry us, and we needed to have a best man and a maid of honor. Every wedding ceremony needs that.
That sounds difficult to arrange.
It was very hard to find a minister to agree to jump. The best man, who was my best friend Ricardo, and the maid of honor, Beth's best friend Lisa, have jumped many times. That was easy. The minister only agreed if a professional skydiver would go with him, so there were 6 of us.
It was also difficult to organize because of the weather. Luckily, it was okay on the day of the jump, but a bit cold. Weather can make any wedding a disaster, but especially a skydiving wedding.
I'm sure. Well, thanks for sharing your story. What a great way to have a wedding.
So, Rowan, What's on your bucket list?
My what, Janet?
Your bucket list. You know, the things that you've always wanted to do. Like, I've never sung in front of people before, and I've never met anyone famous. I have a whole list.
I met someone famous once. Anyway, how long have you had this bucket list for? I don't have anything like that.
A long time. I'd love to ride an elephant, for example. I've never done that. What about you?
Well, I'd never want to sing in front of people. And I've never ridden an elephant either. But I don't really want to. I'd love to do some more traveling. I've never been to Paris. They say that it's beautiful.
Well, that doesn't interest me so much. But talking about traveling, what about seeing the Northern Lights, or the pyramids, or Machu Picchu on the Inca Trail in Peru?
I'm not really interested in the Northern Lights, but the pyramids or Machu Picchu sound great. But you have to do too much physical effort to do the Inca Trail.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's amazing. Imagine looking over that landscape with the sun coming up first thing in the morning.
Yes, that would be great. We should do something like that. So what else?
I've done a half marathon, but I've never run a full marathon before. That would be an incredible thing to do.
You like to get lots of exercise. I like being more relaxed and doing things like watching all the Star Wars movies one after the other.
Rowan, you've seen the Star Wars movies a million times. What about learning to dance salsa? Imagine how great that would be. Your friends would be amazed.
Yeah, they would. And so would I. I'm not good at dancing at all. I tried tango last year, and the waltz. I was really bad.
I'm not very good at it either, but it'd be good to learn. What do you want to do instead, then?
I'd like to just take it easy and stay at an ice hotel. I think they have one in Russia or Sweden or Alaska.
I think it's in Sweden, but that isn't my kind of thing at all. We don't have very similar ideas for our bucket lists, do we?
Well, we agree on Machu Picchu. Welcome to the podcast. Has your city changed in the last few years? And why does a city government decide to make changes in a city? For example, some cities change because more and more people live there, so they're not as small as they were in the past. But there are many things for the city government to consider before they change a city. They try to think about quality of life and what the changes can offer. For example, is the city just full of high-rise buildings? Or are there green spaces too? Not all cities have them. Also, are there many families in the city? We all know that kids are full of energy. Because of this, some city governments may build a playground or create a walking trail so that they can have fun and explore. Also, what about shopping facilities? Okay, not everyone enjoys shopping malls, but governments should make sure there is somewhere practical to go shopping. Ideally, this might be a pedestrian area with cafes as well. Another thing to consider is transportation. A city should have good transportation connections like buses or trains so that it's easy to travel. Transportation can be a big issue in any city, and a lot of cities, especially the large ones, can have thousands of cars. But many city governments create bike lanes to help with this problem, not just more roads. This way, families can move around more safely. And hopefully, when people get hungry, there might be some great food trucks too for a snack. Many food trucks sell burgers and hot dogs, but some of them sell more healthy food. So, when city governments are making decisions on how to change cities, they hopefully think about all of these things and more. By doing this, They can make sure that the city you live in today is definitely better.
Carlos, congratulations on the new job. Have you started yet?
No, I haven't yet finished my training. I've already done 3 weeks of it.
Wow, that's a lot. I imagine you've already learned many new skills.
Yes. In fact, I've just completed a test on customer communication. I think I did well.
That's great. I'm glad you've already found a good job right after graduating.
With us today is young entrepreneur Vera Rodriguez. Vera is only 28 years old, but she's already started her own business. Vera, can you tell us about it?
Of course. Thanks for having me on the show. Well, my business is a flower shop. I sell flowers to the public, and I also make flower arrangements for events like weddings and awards ceremonies.
Interesting. Was it your dream to open a flower shop?
Not exactly. I've always wanted to own my own business, but I didn't think it would be a flower shop. I studied business in college, and I got a degree in finance. Immediately after college, I applied for a job at a large bank and worked there for a long time. So really, my best skills are at math.
So you haven't studied plants, at least not formally.
No, but I really love flowers, and I've taught myself a lot of things about them. I've also taken training programs on how to make flower arrangements and how to take care of plants.
So I imagine you were bored working for a big company. A 9-to-5 job can be a little boring sometimes, and it's not easy to have the same routine every day.
No, I wasn't bored at all. In fact, I loved the company I worked for, and I think big companies are a fantastic place to get experience. I got a raise after a year, and I even got a promotion not long after that. Big companies are a great place to start because they often have many jobs available. So anyone who wants to follow a career path in a big business and climb the corporate ladder has a chance of being successful. But of course, we have to do what we want to do the most. So I took a risk and changed my path.
When you say you took a risk, what do you mean exactly?
Well, opening your own business is frightening. You don't know if it's going to work. When I decided to leave my job, I was really concerned about whether I did the right thing. But my friends and family supported me.
That's very good. It's good to have family members by your side. Some parents don't support their children when they take risks.
Yes, that's true. When I told my mom and dad, they asked me if that was what I truly wanted to do. When they understood that it was, they told me they were very happy for me, and they said they would do anything to help me. That was incredible.
My final question is, how has your college education helped you with your business? You have a flower shop, but you studied business and finance.
My qualifications in business help me with money matters a lot. I have to know how much to sell things for and how much to pay for expenses like the rent on my store and the supplies I buy for it. I'm not sure I would be able to run a flower shop with just a degree in botany or floral design, to be honest. But I think this kind of degree is very interesting anyway.
Well, thanks so much for your time. Good luck with your business.
Thank you.
I work in an advertising company, and my job is to create interesting commercials. The idea is to create a commercial that will impress the person watching, so you have to be very creative to make interesting ones. I spend a lot of time looking at other commercials. When I hear about an interesting commercial that someone has done, even in another country, I'm curious to find out about it. When I applied for the position, my boss was very interested in my qualifications, So having a university degree is very important.
My job is in an accounting firm, so I spend a lot of time looking at large spreadsheets full of numbers. I work with a lot of different forms for many different companies. So, to be successful in the firm, you must be very organized. Because we work with difficult problems at my firm, you have to be intelligent, and it's necessary to have excellent thinking skills for those hard-to-solve problems.
I'm a photographer, and I take photos for a number of different magazines. I don't work in an office. I visit different locations where I can take great photos, so I have to be very independent, which I am. Also, I don't have anyone telling me to start my work or to be on time somewhere, so I have to be motivated to get my work done on my own. In addition to that, I have to go to many different places for my work, and I often don't know where I'm going from one day to the next, so I have to be flexible. It can be hard to get work sometimes, which is why you have to have good contacts to do well in this kind of work.
Hey, Matthias. What are you up to?
Hi, Amanda. I'm really tired, and I've had so much to do this week in class. I love the idea of us having some fun this weekend. I was thinking about going to an amusement park.
Yes, my week wasn't easy either. I had no time to rest. An amusement park is an interesting idea. You're such a kidult. Which one were you thinking of going to?
Well, I've never been to Six Flags. There are so many fun things to do there, and it's right here in New Jersey. We don't have to go into New York.
Well, going there sounds okay. I mean, I've lived in New Jersey all my life, and I've never been there. But, I think I prefer to do something a little bit less energetic.
I know what you mean. I have no energy at the moment. Well, how do you feel about going to the Adventure Aquarium? It's really close to us.
Matthias, no way! Fish are boring, and I hate seeing sharks. They scare me. Anyway, I like the idea of doing something artistic.
Okay. What do you think of seeing the sculptures at the City Sculpture Garden? They have a lot of art there.
Looking at art does sound good. But I need some exercise as well. Maybe we could do some yoga afterwards?
Doing some yoga sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. I can't stand not being active for a whole weekend. Let's go to South Mountain Yoga. I've heard that's supposed to be a great place to go.
Okay, perfect. So where is the sculpture place?
It's nearby, so getting there will be easy. We'll just take the bus from downtown.
Great.